Okay, so we are continuing with chapter number 3. So the points whatever we have discussed. Okay, so up till now, if we have to quickly revise that points because lot of gap is there between the lectures. Okay, so this framing the business ethics, that point we have started. And in that major concern or the main focus was based on the corporation point. So corporation means what? That we have seen. Okay, my screen is visible to everyone. Yes, please respond.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
So what is corporation? Its definition we have seen. Then what are key features of corporation that we have considered? Then there was a lot of discussion based on the point that do the corporations have the social responsibility or not? So there were two views put for this particular point. From one view, it was strongly opposed that corporations are having social responsibility, and another it was accepted that corporations have the social responsibility, and what kind of responsibilities they have to follow or what kind of responsibilities are expected by them to be followed. For that, we have formed we have seen this Carroll's four-port model for that understanding the social responsibilities. Then in this four-port model, that 4 points we have seen, this economical. So I will just go to that diagram. Economical, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. So that 4 points we have seen. Next, we have started with the. So next we have started with the point. What is the importance of stakeholders in the corporation? So for that, first we have seen stakeholder means what? Then to understand the relation between the stakeholder and the organization, these two models we have seen. So these models are named as the traditional management model and stakeholders model. Okay, so here the relationship between the firm and each stakeholder, it is shown in the particular diagram. So that point we have seen. After that, why the stakeholders matter? They matter with two perspectives. First one, it is by considering legal perspective, and another it is by considering the economic perspective. Okay, so that are the two perspectives from which the stakeholders differ from the that traditional model. Okay, and as the importance of stakeholders was increased, the new role for management was there, because initially management has to take care of only shareholders, whereas now the responsibility was increased and they have to take care of all the stakeholders. Okay, so that all the points we have seen, and we have started with this particular point, that is different forms of stakeholders theory. Okay, so I hope you are clear with whatever we have discussed and revised. So now this point we are going to start today, different forms of stakeholders theory. So that can be asked as, what are the various stakeholder theory types? Like that the question can be asked, or what are the different forms of stakeholders theory? In that way also it can be asked. मग वेगवेगळ्या stakeholders theory आहे. पहिली आहे normative stakeholder theory, दुसरी आहे descriptive stakeholder theory, and third one it is instrumental stakeholder theory. Now, but obviously all these three theories are going to tell about the stakeholder. So, but the form or the nature So normative stakeholders theory. This theory attempts to provide a reason why the corporations should take into account the stakeholders' interest. So this theory, what approach it is there for this particular theory? it tries to provide a reason that why corporations should take into account the stakeholders interest. Stakeholders interest त्यांनी का consider केला पाहिजे. So this is giving the focus on this word why it is important to consider the stakeholders interest. That is the concept of normative ethical theory. Then descriptive stakeholders theory, it is telling that this is theory which attempt to ascertain whether and how corporations actually do take into account the stakeholders interest. पहिल्यामध्ये काय सांगितलं जातं, why they should take the care of the interest of stakeholders. Descriptive मध्ये काय होतं, how they are actually considering the stakeholders interest and accordingly they are working. That is there in the descriptive theory. And in instrumental stakeholder theory, this is the theory which attempts to answer the question of whether it is beneficial for the corporation to take into account the stakeholders interest or not. So I will just write here that three particular words. In theory मध्ये anyhow they are relating the stakeholders interest, but normative ethical theory मध्ये काय, I will just highlight these words. In normative ethical theory, it is explaining why corporation have to consider the stakeholders interest. Descriptive मध्ये काय होतं की how the corporations actually take into account, and instrumental मध्ये which attempts to answer the question of whether it is beneficial for the corporation to take into account the stakeholders interest or not. का घ्यायला पाहिजे, कशा पद्धतीने घेतला जातो आणि स्टेकहोल्डरचा इंटरेस्ट लक्षात घेणं हे त्या कॉर्पोरेशन साठी युजफुल आहे का नाही. So like that there are these three forms of stakeholders theory. So these questions can be also asked in the MCQ form, that this particular approach is followed in which theory, like that. So you understand the difference, why, how, and whether beneficial or not. Like that you can remember the keywords. So these are the different forms of the stakeholders theory. Okay, so here we are completing about the stakeholders part. Stakeholder part मध्ये काय काय बघितलं आपण. Stakeholders means what, why it is important to consider the stakeholders. मग ट्रॅडिशनल अप्रोच काय होता, ट्रॅडिशनल अप्रोच मध्ये फक्त शेअर होल्डर्सना इम्पॉर्टन्स होतं, बट ऍज द न्यू innovations have come, that interest or that importance of stakeholders was increased, like that. आणि कुठल्या कुठल्या रिस्पेक्टने स्टेकहोल्डर्सचे इम्पॉर्टन्स आहे, इकॉनॉमिकल, लीगल एस्पेक्ट, like that, all that points we have seen. And then this stakeholders theory of three types, त्याचे तीन फॉर्म आपण बघितले, normative, descriptive आणि instrumental stakeholders theory. Okay, so all that points we have seen. Now the next point we have to consider corporate accountability. Okay, so corporate accountability. So before we start this particular point, now here we are completing about the stakeholders points. Now here we have started with the corporate accountability. Okay, so before we start, can you tell, can anyone tell that what is the meaning of corporate accountability, or can you answer what is the meaning of accountability? आपण जेव्हा जनरली सुद्धा accountability हा शब्द वापरतो, so what is its meaning, accountability? Can anyone answer for the question, please? Can anyone answer what is the meaning of accountability? काय अर्थ होतो accountability चा? You are accountable for this. When we use this phrase for someone, what is its meaning? Yes, Audumbar, can you tell? Accountability means what? Yes, anybody else?
No, I don't know.
Okay. So accountability, basically this word is having the meaning as जबाबदारी किंवा final all the responsibility. whatever happens, you are responsible for that. When we use that word, technically it is called as the accountability. म्हणजे काय जबाबदारी असते. So when the corporations are working in the society, they are accountable for which things or what is their ultimate responsibility. आता आपण बघितलं की कॉर्पोरेटच्या सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वरती काय whatever were the philosophical discussion that some people strongly opposed, that social, their welfare, that is the task of government. There is no any task for corporation related to the society. असा काही approach होता. And because of that, we cannot say that all the social responsibilities are there with the corporation. But when the corporations are working in the society, for the society, something they have to follow, or at least we can say they should not conduct any behavior because of which the societal injustice will take place. For example, एखाद्या कॉर्पोरेशनचे असं एखादं प्रोडक्ट आहे की ज्याच्यामुळे पोल्युशन वाढतंय and environmental things are getting disturbed. So corporate is accountable for that. They are supposed to follow the environmental aspect, and as per that only they have to build their or they have to make their particular product like that. त्यामुळे फ्राइडमन्स व्ह्यू आपण बघितले, फ्राइडमन सायंटिस्ट in concept. So as per his views, corporations should not undertake social policies and programs because this is the task of the government, and since the corporate managers are acting on behalf of shareholders rather than being elected by the general public, their accountability is to primarily for shareholders and not to the public. So corporate accountability मध्ये दोनच पॉइंट आपल्याला कन्सिडर करायचे. पहिली मेजर अकाउंटेबिलिटी कशाची आहे, कॉर्पोरेटची. as they are working for the shareholder, their first responsibility or first accountability is with the shareholders. They have to work for the betterment of the shareholders, or they have to work for their welfare. Okay. पहिली कॉर्पोरेटची अकाउंटेबिलिटी किंवा पहिली कॉर्पोरेटची रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ही असणार आहे की दॅट मॅनेजर और हुएवर आर द पर्सन्स देअर, दे हॅव टू वर्क फॉर देअर shareholders. They have to work for increasing the profit related to the shareholders. That is first thing. And second, corporate accountability is, it refers to whether corporation is answerable in some way for the consequences of their action. पहिली accountability काय आहे, that they have to look after the benefit of their shareholders. And second, it is that they, as they are taking the decisions by their own, they are responsible for their own decisions, and they are supposed to give justification if some bad effects are there because of their some decision. Means they are responsible for their decisions. Okay, so second accountability refers to whether a corporation is answerable in some way for the consequences of their action. Okay, so these 2 points are mainly there in corporate accountability. So if the question is asked related to the corporate accountability, these 2 points you have to write. As per Friedman's view, they are not directly responsible for any societal aspect. So that they are primarily responsible or accountable for their shareholders. And second, corporate accountability refers to whether a corporation is answerable in some way for the consequences of its actions or not. Okay, so that is the meaning of this corporate accountability. Now, this is the first point we can say in the corporate accountability. Now, second point मध्ये ह्याच पर्टिक्युलर पॉइंटच्या अंडर सेकंड सब पॉइंट कुठला आहे, दॅट ड्युरिंग 1980 to 1990, 1980 ते 1990 ह्या पिरियड मध्ये द लॉट ऑफ प्रायव्हेटायझेशन वॉज डन. मीन्स सो मेनी गव्हर्नमेंट सेक्टर्स, so many government agencies, they were converted from that government into the private sectors. Okay, so second part काय आहे ह्याच्यातला, in the 1980 to 1990, lot of privatization of the various government sectors was done. And what are the reasons for that we have to consider? Okay, so that point is also there under this corporate accountability. Okay, so in MCQ also this is asked that in 1980 to 1990 what was happened. So first you will be given option as privatization, then some other options will be given. So here you can underline this particular sentence. So privatization of many political functions and processes formerly assigned to the governments. Okay, there were two main reasons for this development. First, you just understand it once again. फर्स्ट आपण अकाउंटेबिलिटी मध्ये कुठल्या मेन कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटेबिलिटी आहेत बघितलं. फर्स्ट कॉर्पोरेट अकाउंटेबिलिटी इज टू बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर देअर शेअर होल्डर्स और टू ऍक्ट in such a way that whatever is beneficial for their shareholders. That is first point we have seen. And then corporate accountability refers to whether a corporation is answerable in some way for the consequences of their actions. That we have seen as a second point in the corporate accountability. Then the next 2 points we have to see here, that is in 1980 to 1990, lot of conversion of various government sectors that were converted into the private sectors. So lot of privatization was done, and there were two main reasons for this conversion. First one, it is government failure, and second one is increasing power and influence of the corporation. Okay, so first was government failure, and second one it is increasing power and influence of the corporation. बऱ्याच काही गोष्टी आहेत ज्याच्यामध्ये गव्हर्नमेंट वॉज नॉट एबल टू वर्क ॲज इट वॉज एक्सपेक्टेड. दॅट इज गव्हर्नमेंट फेल्युअर, and second is increasing power and influence of the corporation. So these are the two reasons because of which in the 1980 to 1990 various government sectors, they were converted in the form of the private sectors. Okay, so first point is government failure. Now why the government failure has taken place? So or on what front the government was failed? So if we have to see that the particular points on what front the government was failed, so here it is given. Government failure was there related to risky society and the institutional failure of politics. Okay, so in 1986 the German sociologist Ulrich Beck published a book under the title of Risk Society. So government failure कशामुळे झालं? Try to understand the sequence. 1980 ते 90 च्या दरम्यान बऱ्याच गव्हर्नमेंट सेक्टरचं प्रायव्हेट सेक्टर मध्ये कन्व्हर्जन झालं. That was the one drastic change which happened during that period. So why that change was happened? So there are two main reasons for that change. First one is government failure, and second one it is increasing power and influence of the corporation. So government failure, why the government failure has taken place? So that related to that, this risk society factor was important. So risk society, so in 1986 the German sociologist Ulrich has published a book having the title as Risk Society. So risk society means what? There are various sectors which where overall that is riskful for the society. Okay, so what are the various things in that risk society factor? So it has becoming increasing dominant on the public agenda. Examples are the risks of nuclear power, the risks of global warming, the risk of industrial agriculture, and the risks inherent in new technologies such as genetic engineering, just to name a few. So related to these things, that is referred as risk society. So related to that, the government was not able to manage the things, or government was not able to minimize these particular risks in these areas. Risk of nuclear power, everyone knows that can be used for constructive things as well as it can be used for the destructive things, or related to global warming. Because of increasing in the temperature, this global warming situation has arrived. Risks of industrial agriculture, risks inherent in new technologies such as genetic engineering. So because of all these, the government was not able to minimize the risk level, and that is the one reason for government failure. Again, so there are various reasons and examples are given, but this one only we can refer. And second was increase in the corporate power. That particular time period मध्ये corporations were in the boom. So they were, the power of corporate was increased. People's trust was more on these corporations rather than government. So that is the second reason for this privatization. Okay, so these 2 points only we have to consider in the corporate accountability. Okay, so the rise in the corporate power and influence over the past 20 years or so has been receiving growing attention from academic and the general public alike. Okay, so in that particular time period, the people were having more faith on the corporations rather than government, and government failure was there. So the various government sectors were converted into the private sectors, that is the privatization. So these 2 points are there in this particular heading. Corporate accountability, त्याचा एक्झॅक्ट अर्थ बघितला तर दोनच गोष्टीला कॉर्पोरेट रिस्पॉन्सिबल आहे किंवा अकाउंटेबल आहे. पहिलं म्हणजे दे हॅव टू ऑलवेज वर्क फॉर देअर shareholders. Always they have to work to increase the profit for their shareholders. Then corporate accountability also refers that whether they are answerable in some way for the consequences of their action. Whatever actions they are taking, त्याच्या रिझल्ट साठी ते जबाबदार आहेत का नाही. That is the second point. And another point in this corporate accountability is this one. Privatization was taken place आणि त्याचे 2 reasons जे आहेत, गव्हर्नमेंट फेल्युअर आणि increasing power and influence of the corporation. Okay, so these 2 things you have to understand in this corporate accountability point. Okay, so is it clear? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the next point we have to consider, that is corporate citizenship. आता हे जे सगळे पॉइंट्स आहेत, so all these are related with the corporation or corporate and their social responsibility. आता corporate citizenship आपण जेव्हा म्हणतोय, so this is also one approach, or this is the one way, or this is the term which is used to relate the social responsibility of any corporate. Okay, so towards the middle of 1990, the term corporate citizenship emerged as a new way of addressing the social role of the corporation. एखाद्या corporationचा social role काय आहे ते एक्सप्लेन करण्यासाठी ही टर्म यूज केली गेलेली आहे. Okay, so that is usually abbreviated as CC also. Okay, so CC, that stands for corporate citizenship. So corporate citizenship is showing what is the social role of the corporation. So again, there are 3 approaches, or that corporate citizenship is having the 3 perspective. म्हणजे कुठल्या पद्धतीने कॉर्पोरेटचा सोसायटी मध्ये रोल असतो. So there are 3 views, or there are 3 perspectives to define the corporate citizenship. So first perspective is a limited view of corporate citizenship. Second is an equivalent view of corporate citizenship. And third one, it is an extended view of corporate citizenship. Okay, so you just look at these 3 types or 3 perspectives of the corporate citizenship. आधी लक्षात घ्या, corporate citizenship means that is the one approach which is defining what is the social role of any corporation. Okay, then a limited, there are the three approaches for that corporate citizenship: a limited view of corporate citizenship, equivalent view of corporate citizenship, and extended view of corporate citizenship. Okay, so these are the three approaches for corporate citizenship. Okay, so we will see one by one. Okay, so limited view of CC means what? This equate the corporate citizenship with only corporate philanthropy. आता जे चार आपण लेअर बघितलेत कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मध्ये, इकॉनॉमिक, so that 4 layers we have seen. I will just open that diagram. Four layers we have seen: economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. So out of these 4 layers, out of these 4 layers, in the limited view of corporate citizenship, it is expected that the corporate are having only the philanthropic responsibilities to follow. Okay, so I will just go to that point. Corporate citizenship मध्ये 3 view आहेत. First one, it is the limited view of corporate citizenship. So here this equates the corporate citizenship with corporate philanthropy. So it is equating, or it is as per this view, it is required that corporates have to only follow the philanthropic responsibilities, and they are not supposed to follow the any other 3 responsibilities, that is the philanthropy. Then equivalent view of corporate citizenship is, this equates the corporate citizenship with CSR. पहिल्यामध्ये काय आहे, CSR पैकी फक्त philanthropic responsibilities should be followed by the corporation. Second मध्ये काय, all that CSR 4 responsibilities should be followed by the corporate citizenship. Okay, so 4 ज्या आहेत CSR मॉडेल मधल्या 4 ज्या responsibility आहेत, all that 4 responsibilities should be followed by the corporate citizenship. Okay, that is the equivalent view of CC. And extended view of CC means along with CSR, means not only CSR but along with CSR some other responsibilities also need to be followed by the particular corporations. Okay, so these are the meaning of these 3 perspectives. Limited view मध्ये corporate has to obey, or corporate has to only fulfill the philanthropic responsibility, CSR model मधली. Equivalent मध्ये CSR मध्ये ज्या 4 responsibility दिलेल्या आहेत, all that 4 responsibilities should be fulfilled by the corporations. And extended view of corporate citizenship मध्ये, along with the CSR model, the extended political role of the corporation should be also followed. Okay, so this acknowledges the extended political role of the corporation in society. Okay, so these 3 views are there. So same it is explained in detail here. So in limited view of corporate citizenship, याच्यामध्ये काय दिलेलं आहे की कॉर्पोरेशन चा व्यू लिमिटेड आहे. कॉर्पोरेट सिटीजनचा whatever is that view it is limited. So here it is used to identify the philanthropic role and responsibilities the firm voluntarily undertake in the local community, such as charitable donation. The limited view of CC tends to focus nearly completely on the direct physical environment of the company, resulting in a strong focus on local communities. Okay, तर लिमिटेड व्यू ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट सिटीजनशिप मध्ये फक्त फिलॉन्थ्रॉपिक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज. फिलॉन्थ्रॉपिक मीन्स whatever is good for welfare of all the society, that is called as the philanthropic. मग कॉर्पोरेशननी फक्त फिलॉन्थ्रॉपिक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीजचा विचार करायला पाहिजे, like giving donations to the various charity, doing some social activities. That is the limited view of corporate citizenship. Okay, then the equivalent view of corporate citizenship, ह्याच्यामध्ये काय, this equates the corporate citizenship with CSR. CSR शी इक्वल जे आहे, means whatever are the 4 models in the CSR, all that 4 responsibilities should be fulfilled by this corporate citizenship. Okay, that is the second view. So we will go to that description. See, equivalent view of CC. The second common understanding of corporate citizenship consists in a somewhat updated label for CSR, or sometimes stakeholders management, without attempting to define any new role or responsibilities for the corporation. The most striking example for this use of CC is probably Carroll himself, who in paper entitled the 4 phases. Okay, so that is the additional description given. तर आपल्या CSR मॉडेल मध्ये ज्या 4 रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज दिलेल्या आहेत, all that 4 responsibilities should be fulfilled by the corporation. So it is equivalent to CSR. That is the second view. आणि extended view of CC मध्ये काय असतं, की along with the 4 responsibilities in CSR, along with the 4 responsibilities in CSR, again some additional rights and responsibilities are given to the corporate citizenship. Okay, so त्या 4 responsibilities तर corporate follow करायलाच पाहिजे, but apart from that the other responsibilities are given as other rights are given as social right, civil right and political right. Okay, so while there has been only very limited discussion of an extended view of CC, it has been added in several articles. So that articles are given, and the extended view takes as its starting point of the notion of citizenship. म्हणजे आपले CSR मधल्या 4 responsibilities तर फॉलो करायलाच पाहिजेत कॉर्पोरेशननी, but along with that 4 responsibilities, these 3 rights are given to the corporation. Okay, so what are that? Liberal citizenship comprises the different aspect of the entitlement. कुठले बेसिक राइट्स असतात? सोशल राइट्स. So these provide the individual with freedom to participate in society. सोसायटीचे जे काही राइट्स आहेत, फॉर एक्झाम्पल everyone has the right for education, right for their health care and various aspects of the welfare. So these are the social rights. Then civil rights, these provide freedom from abuses and interference by third parties, most notably by the government. So civil rights everyone is having, they are protected, they are providing or they are getting freedom from the abuses and interference by the third party, that is the civil rights, or they are not getting any interference by the third party, that is civil right. Then political right is, these include the right to vote or the right to hold the office, and generally speaking enable the individual to take part in the process of governance. So we are having the right for voting, we are having right to participate in any government activities, or we are having the right as a citizen, as we are having the democracy. So extended view of CC मध्ये काय असतं, along with the basic rights in the CSR, they are having these 3 extra rights: social rights, civil rights and the political rights. Okay, so these three views are there in the corporate citizenship. Okay, so social right, civil right, and political right. Okay, so is it clear? Three views of the corporate citizenship. So again, one more point you can remember. Corporate citizenship describes the corporate function for governing citizenship rights for the individuals. Whether these three views are clear? Corporate citizenship, what are the three views of corporate citizenship? इथं दिलेलं आहे corporate citizenship मध्ये एक्स्ट्रा जे आहे extended view of corporate citizenship. So that is giving social role of corporation in governing citizenship. They are having social rights, civil rights, and political rights. Yes, is it clear? Three views of corporate citizenship. Yes, Shreya, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the responsibilities of corporation with respect to social? That is explained in the corporate citizenship. आणि ते तीन पद्धतीने explain केलेले. Okay, that limited view, equivalent view, and extended view. Okay, so that points we have seen. Okay, so we will stop here today. In the next lecture, we will, just a minute. We will continue with the next points. Okay, so you just type your number in the chat box and you can leave the meeting.